What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you all for tuning in. I know it's not quite Halloween yet, but we're not airing on Halloween because we're going to be running our own haunt. So we're going to be doing it all on this Tuesday. We're actually recording this a little bit early so we can prepare. So you might notice a few different things that we're doing tonight for this Halloween special. For those who don't know, Halloween is our Super Bowl. Like, we go fucking nuts.
By the way, this is... I can't hear me, dude. This is JD.
Yeah, I was getting to that. So thank you for tuning in. As always, I'm your host, JD Spookpaw, and hauntingly beautiful one to my right is Kat. Yeah, the puns just get worse from here.
Oh, no. I have a couple of jokes pulled up. So what kind of horse does a ghost ride?
No clue.
A nightmare.
Oh, I told you the puns get worse.
Who did the ghost take to prom? His ghoul friend. Okay, I'm done. Maybe.
Surprised there was no his mummy ones.
No, that's so typical, so predictable. No.
So tonight we are going to be tasting a few beers that I got for my birthday earlier this month. I have not tried these yet, and they were brought over. So let's try. We're going to be doing the what is it? The Southern Star Brewing Southern Brunch Citrus Shandy. Say that 8 times. It's brewed in Conroe, Texas. Has 4.2 ABV. Let's try it out.
Awesome.
So,
what is up with this music? Holy crap!
It's spooky Halloween music.
Ooh.
Sounds like something that'd be in the background of like a Rob Zombie flick, where it's got.
It sounds like
industrial.
It needs to be on Indiana Jones, like Habab Shabai, Habab Shabai, Halima.
So let's see.
You can smell the orange.
Oh, you can smell the orange before you even taste it.
It smells like orange Fanta, but it tastes almost
really
like
delicious.
Blue Moon with the orange squeezed in already.
Yeah, it's really delicious.
Really good.
So yeah, if you can find that wherever you're at, if you can find the Southern Star Brewing,
wow, that is really
Southern
good.
Brunch Citrus, it's actually really damn good.
It's a citrus
Thank
shandy.
you, Brandy and Eric.
Thank you,
awesome.
Brandy. That is delicious.
So, we're going to be taking a few phone calls tonight. We're going to be having Frank, one of our prior guests. He's come on to tell his some of his ghost stories. He was a paranormal investigator, or is a paranormal investigator on his off time. He's also involved in a lot of Halloween haunts, as far as the putting together the ghouls and ghosts and blood and gore and all that shit at the places he walked through. So we have a lot of things in common that we're going to be talking about. So, and then we're going to be telling you the ghost story of the house that we lived in, that we've talked about a million times, but I've never told you all about it until tonight. So make sure you stay till the end to hear the hellhole that we lived in. That was like hell, literally. Satan, hell.
There was like a portal and everything. It's no big deal.
So let's knock out these sponsors so we can get right into it. So our first sponsor, as always, is 5x5 Brewing Company, founded by Army vet George Rice. They're a battle-born, Texas-made veteran brewing company based in Mission, Texas. With beers like the 40mm Stout, Brunette Bombshell, and Fubar, it's no surprise this brewery is taking over the Texas markets from the valley to the coastal bend. Ask your local bar, restaurant, or grocer to start carrying 5x5 Brewing Company today. You can find them at 5x5brewing.com, facebook.com/5x5brewing. You can call them directly at 956-445-5421, or you can email them at info@5x5brewing.com.
Boom. Good for you, man. Good for you. Next up, the Legion of Loan Officers, founded by Air Force Security Forces veteran Nick Carpenter, who would have been on the show tonight, but he had a conflicting schedule because he and his wife are very into the occult, and I'm sure he has some amazing stories as well.
We're gonna have to catch up into another haunted episode.
Or next year, we'll still be here probably. I don't think we're going to get shut down, not zucked or anything. So the Legion of Loan Officers is America's mastermind for smart mortgage professionals, where you learn to attract at least 10 realtors you love working with. Get your free copy of Nick's book, The Loan Officer Strategy Guide, at loanofficerstrategyguide.com. Just pay a small shipping and handling fee, and his wife will get it straight out to you. So you can get that by going to facebook.com/Legion of Loan Officers /
Then we got OMOG Construction, founded by Marine vet Seth Knox and his buddy Matt Anders. They're general contractors serving the greater Houston, Texas area with a focus on concrete. No job too big or too small. From residential to commercial and industrial foundations and pads, OMOG Construction has you covered. You can find them at omogco.com, facebook.com/omogco, or Instagram omogco. That's Omaco. That stands for one Mexican, one Wedo. Wedo is Spanish slang for white dude. Oh, you're knocking over our props.
I was pointing to you. My bad. Sorry.
I worked
Okay.
so diligently to have those.
Diligent?
Yes, diligently. Are you going to talk about the veteran podcast?
I am, once you stop talking about how diligent you were when you put up the doll heads. Don't shush me on my own motherfucking show. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? So next is the Veteran Talk Show with Ryan Smeltz, who wipes standing up. A soldier, an airman, and a Marine walk into a bar or a room. Whoops! Oh my God, I'm already fucking it up. A Veteran Talk Show is the punchline. Veteran Talk Show is more about the veterans on the show than the ones who watch it. An unorthodox version of therapy. They talk about things with each other they haven't told anyone else ever until now. So, working to support sexual harassment victims, assault prevention, and stopping veteran suicide, they maintain a resource page on their website, including Richard Kaufman's book, A Hero's Journey. Come watch the organized chaos at www.veterantalkshow.com or facebook.com/veteran talk show. Boom.
And our final sponsor for tonight is Pirates Coast Realty Group with Wendy Johnson. If you're buying, selling, or leasing in the Texas Coastal Bend, give Wendy, the Pirate Girl, a call, and she will find your treasure. Whether you're looking for your dream house on the beach or a buccaneer to buy your empty crow's nest, Pirates Coast Realty Group get you the gold. You can find her at facebook.com/thatpirategirl. Email her at thatpirategirl247@gmail.com or call her at 361-205-2048. Call her during business hours. Don't be a dick and call her at like 10 o'clock because that's just rude. Don't be rude. Don't be rude.
Don't be that guy.
So without further ado, we are going to start our special Halloween episode. We're going to bring Frank on the air. Hello, Frank.
Hey,
what's going
on? What are you, Voodoo Mama Juju?
Exactly. Gotta get in the Halloween spirit.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. I got my little skeleton shirt on here.
So yeah, we're doing. I know that you've seen kind of the stuff that we're doing online. We do a haunt in our front yard.
Yes.
This year we are having. It's got 4 different sections to it that you have to walk through. There's a separate photo area, and you don't get the candy until you walk all the way through it. I don't care if you're 3 or 53. You can go fuck yourself. You're not getting the reward until you do the whole thing. We've added a mortuary that I'm still in the process of building and a corn maze this year.
Yep.
If anybody's watching this wants to come by, it's free to the public. As always, as long as it's in my front yard, we're never going to charge for it. It's all for the fun of it.
As long as it's in the front yard.
Yeah, we're going to outgrow our yard eventually.
So if it moves to the backyard, you're going to charge people?
No, if it moves to the backyard, we're just moving it to a whole new location.
Awesome.
So what kind of haunts do you work on?
Well, I say 2010, I actually co-directed a haunted trail back in Ohio where we ended up turning a youth camp and the whole trails into a haunted trail and everything else. And then recently out here in California in 2019, I was able to turn the Lakeside River Parks. They maintain the walking trail, and we turned that into a haunted trail. And in 2019, we did the Wild Wild West theme. I like to do theme style haunts.
Oh yeah,
and
they just seem more put
fun,
together
yeah.
if there's a theme to it.
Exactly, and then you have a storyline, and it kind of goes through with everything else. Last year, of course, got canceled. This year, the county didn't issue us the permits in time, so I had to cancel this year's. And this year we was going with the Curse of the French Quarter, which is a New Orleans voodoo style,
yeah.
you see. So, but yeah, so I enjoy it. I've been in scare acting, I think since 2005. I got into it at a couple haunts back in Ohio and everything, and it's plus with my experience in the paranormal and stuff. So it's been a good fit.
Let's say somebody out there wants to get into scare acting, and how would they do it?
They'd come to our house on Halloween.
Yeah, please, by all means. If you're watching this, we still need more. We need more people to be here for the scares. We haven't.
Yeah.
A lot of people had to back out for conflicts of interest, or not conflicts of interest, conflicting schedules. Thank you. But wherever people are at that are watching this, where would they go?
Well, the thing is there's not really a school to teach people how to be scare actors. You know, scare acting, as you know yourself, is a totally different entity whenever you're in entertainment. You have to be able to use facial expressions, body language, physical interaction, and stuff like that, and be able to read off of people's, you have to have everything set up. So you have to find that person that is completely scared and be able to go after them, but not touch them. So
yeah, that is a major rule with us is you can reach at them, you can lunge at them, but do not touch them. You can scream at them, don't cuss at them. It's not
we don't want to get sued.
Yeah,
exactly. And so a lot of times in order to get into scare acting, you've got to find a local haunt near you that is accepting people to come in, and they're going to teach you, or jump on the good old YouTube. What I've done for mine is, instead of me spending 5-6 hours to teach people, I found some really good YouTube videos that I have them sit and watch through. And it's literally about 3 hours of YouTube videos of watching them, how to develop a character, how to, go through the facial expressions and different types of actors and different types of, scares that you're looking for within a haunt. So there's a lot of things with YouTube, but find a local haunt in your area and see if you can go there. Volunteer at first. Mine, we did a volunteer because it was a fundraiser. But I'm also going to be starting this year. My plan is to start a YouTube series of educating people how to start doing it. So turn it into a course type thing of just getting people to understand what the scare acting, takes. And also, there's not only scare acting, there's props, there's set design, there's all that stuff that if you don't want to be a scare actor, you can jump in and help out and do things and that stuff. People like, build
by all means. Stuff.
Yeah.
Please come help me build.
Yeah, for love of God. Yeah, there's so many things we want to rig up. But
yeah, we are the directors, we are the prop builders, the set makers, the actors. Like we started in July this year. Starting with props and sets and stuff.
And we're actually going to have to start in November for next year.
Yeah.
We have way too much crap we want to do for next year. So
I bit off way more than I could chew, and I'm not going to finish half of what I wanted to by this Halloween. So I'm just going to start November 1st.
Exactly. That's what we did is, we started in February with ours. So it's just going through it. And we were scheduled to have 52 scare actors a night for 4 nights.
Jesus.
So it's a lot of scare actors to do it, and building props and everything else. And this year we're going to start in January of 2022 for next year.
Well, I was actually asked this year because we've made it bigger and better each year. So we're trying to get like classified as an actual haunt, like on the haunt websites and everything. So we're putting a lot more effort into it. And of course, next year it's going to be even, because we'll have the time to do everything we wanted to do for this year that we don't have the time for. So next year is going to be even crazier. Well, people are like, well, how many nights do you do it? And I'm like, just Halloween night. But everyone's like, really? You should do it for like 4 nights. And I was like,
really? You should come fucking help.
Yeah. I was like, getting actors for that amount of time would be crazy.
We're just going to have to head up to colleges next year and be like, hey.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of things. I'll send you guys the links that I use to get the haunt listed up to. You don't have to be really unofficial. The only thing that you have to do is look at your local state and county zoning laws and codes, and if they require a permit and stuff like that. And of course, you got to get the fire inspector in to be able to inspect everything and make sure it's safe to be legally within your county or your city or whatever else. But, I'll send you guys the links.
It's all legal because we don't charge.
Exactly.
It's free. It's all free, and like I said, it's going to be free forever as long as I can possibly do it that way, because it's all for fun.
Yeah.
A little background, like this whole thing started with my brother. My brother ordered some animatronics, and this was back when you couldn't get them at any of your big box stores. You actually had to know what website to go to find them. You were ordering them months in advance because they were all made to order at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he started the Halloween stuff.
That was over a decade ago.
He passed away in 2013. And in 2013, I took over. So we've been building it every year. And it's kind of an homage to him as far as, because Halloween was his thing. and we've taken it on, and it's kind of a family thing. You know, my mom comes down every year. My sister, when she can, comes down. She hasn't right
We
now.
got my parents in it last year, and that was so much
So
fun.
it's
Nice.
yeah, it's way beyond just being a bunch of scares and lights and sounds and screams and blood
Yeah.
and gore and skeletons. You know, it's
And yeah, we have a lot of animatronics, but we're actually next year going to be working on a lot of props, moving props that are
DIY, yeah.
stagnant this year are going to be moving next year. So we're actually have them out this year. People are going to get used to seeing them as stagnant props like they were last year, and then next year they're going to move.
well, we got 2 of the old props removing again, but
Well, I didn't mean the animatronics. I meant
new
actual props. Like
yeah,
we
new
have
ones
a
that we're building,
cradle.
yeah.
We have a cradle with a skeleton mom on her knees next to it and a
Nice.
skeleton baby inside of it. Next year, the cradle will rock. I don't care what the fuck I have to do. Dick, I have to give a mouth hug to. I am going to get that thing. I'm going to get that thing rocking by next year. I'm doing it. It's happening.
I got a little trick for you. Are you guys using that fake spider web that you buy at the store and stuff like that?
No, I use hot glue gun and an air compressor.
Okay. So there is actually, did you buy the one that's actually made for it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that thing. That thing is
Yeah, it's
freaking amazing.
awesome. It is
I
amazing.
love that. When they came
And
out
it
with
stayed.
that.
The stuff that we put last year on our fake fencing, it stayed.
So yeah, and we left like about the fence that we use. I leave it outside so it still just ages.
Yeah,
all the
and
time.
leaves are caught in it, so now it looks really.
So now,
legit.
yeah, it's
so
full
cool.
of like leaves and funk and crap
Yeah.
like that. So it looks even better. I'm in the process. I got a bunch of new signage made where I'm in the process of like the 8 coats of paint to where it looks like aged bronze, but it's actually just MDF.
Yeah.
I cut out all the letters with the laser and she glued them all on.
Nice.
But Frank was going somewhere with that. Where were you going with it, Frank?
Well, you know, whenever before, like you said, you couldn't buy those things unless they were, you know, you went to professional prop place or whatever else. And then the guy that actually created it finally released it for us to be able to buy it, I think like 4 years ago.
Huh.
You know, I've had mine for about 3 years now, and I freaking love that thing.
We bought ours last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had another one before, but it didn't work.
It didn't
for
work.
shit.
No,
It
we
was-
bought one a few years, like two or 3 years ago, and it didn't work. But the one last year, hell yeah!
But
it was
also works off my
awesome.
gigantic construction
air compressor.
air compressor that I
Yeah.
have set at like 90 psi. So it's
Yeah.
blowing shit all over.
It was awesome.
Blow it everywhere. That's like we're doing this year. We were supposed to have a haunted mansion, and I was going in there and just shooting webs everywhere. So
So
this
I
thing
have
is amazing.
I have a question. So you got into ghost hunting, but you said that all the experiences started as a kid, correct?
Yes, when I was
So-
11 years old.
So what happened?
So I grew up in the backwoods of Ohio, and where I lived at, literally like less than 50 yards was the train tracks. And I think it was like when I was around 11ish or so, they stopped running the trains through. They were going to close the train tracks down. The last train that came through was the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. So they started tearing out the tracks, and we always used to walk down the trains tracks through the tunnel to get from the town I lived in called Flushing over to Holloway. And it was quicker, it was faster. Well, one time after the trains already stopped, we decided we're going to go down there. It was in the evening. We wanted to go down to the local festival they had down in I think it was the Coal Miners Festival. I think that's what it's called in Holloway. And all of a sudden, we heard a train whistle.
Mm-mm.
Now, mind you, the tracks are out. The one part of the tunnel is already freaking pushed into where you only got like little access to get into. And we heard a train sound. It was like, what the hell? We're looking around. We're not seeing anything. Within minutes, we see a bright light. We run off to the side. And as this bright light goes by, always we see is like dead people, like ghost and shit hanging through the tunnel and everything else.
Oh my God.
And then it went by, and literally we ran our asses off the same direction the train went because we didn't know what the fuck was coming that direction.
Oh
And we
my
just ran and ran.
I would
and
have
ran.
I would have been the typical white dude that you see in the movies, like, hey, let's go see more.
I would have been the typical white girl in those, and I would have shit myself.
Well, we did. We were
You
running
would
after
have been
this.
stabbed.
We were trying to find out if it was nothing. It was just like a ball of light that went by, but
Oh
it was
my
sounding like a
God.
damn train. And we were running, all of a sudden it just disappeared.
That is incredible.
That's super cool.
And since you've done ghost hunting, I'm sure you've got more stories, but I think JD's got a guest.
Yeah, we're gonna take a phone
lined
call
up.
from Kristen, who wanted to be on the show to share her stories real quick. So let's give her a ring a dinger real quick. See how well AT&T works today.
Hello.
Hey, Kristen.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so you are on the air on Southpaw's Tales from the Barstool. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing so well. Thank you for reaching out. I hear you guys are talking about spooky things.
Yeah,
We
ghost
are.
stories. So
And I figured you had one or two since you and I had some experiences together. So I want to get you on here and share your favorite one.
Oh, guys, that's hard for me to narrow down. Aunt Kat and I have had a couple together. I've experienced a lot in various homes of y'all's, with and without children.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's throw way back to when I lived with you guys in high school. Uncle JD was out of town, and Aunt Kat was pregnant, and she was on bed rest, and I was staying with you guys. And it was like right around the corner from the high school, and I would walk to and from school. Worked out great for me. I hope I helped you guys out too.
Absolutely.
Kind of, sort of.
While we were living together there, Uncle Judy was gone at work, and Aunt Kat was home, and I had come home, and things were just feeling a little off. And so, me being the moody teenager, I was like, I'm going to go to my room, and my room was directly across from the master bedroom. I go in there, and I just feel really paranoid, and like someone was staring at me. So it's now like nighttime. My imagination gets the best of me because I'm really 5 on the inside. So I run across the hall to Aunt Kat, and I'm like, Aunt Kat, I'm a little freaked out. I feel like there's some eyes on me in there. And she's like, yeah, okay, just crawl in bed with me. And she didn't tell me that things were going on in her room either at that point in time. So we're laying in bed together, and we're trying to like talk about good things and calm down and get our minds straight, because it's just us two in the house by ourselves. And we start hearing like footsteps, like heels clicking in the living room, and we just ignore it. And there's a fan on the bedside table, and we have the TV on, and you know how the glow of the TV is kind of like a blue or a gray on the walls.
Yeah.
We saw a silhouette lean out from y'all's closet, and Aunt Kat and I were looking the same way, and I'm getting the chills just thinking about it. And it was like shoulders up, and that's what I remember. Aunt Kat, what do you remember?
Yeah, we had a large walk-in closet that had 2 doors, so it looked almost like 2 separate closets. Well, they formed one. So if you're laying in the bed, you're facing the door to our bedroom, but to the right is the closets. So yeah, we were laying there, and it's not the first time it had happened. It wasn't even the last time it had happened. There's a guy who leans out the closet door and looks at you.
And
happened on several occasions, to the point where like JD saw it and was like,
well, a few things about that house. You had mentioned the footsteps in the living room. It was hard tile floors that were original to the house. House was built probably mid 70s. But there was footsteps that happened in the same, like if you closed your eyes and you listened and you could tell the direction they're coming from, they're going. It happened the same way every single time, the same time every day. There's some kind of residual haunt that was set on a timer. You could never affect it. It never changed.
The
it was
heels
just what it is.
Sounded like boots, like heeled,
like old rawhide. Sold boots. But also that house was originally owned by, well, not originally owned, but prior owned by the family whose son I did Little League with, Charlie Haas. And he ended up passing away in a house fire at their hunting lease where the cabin caught on fire and he passed away. And I truly believe that whoever it was that was poking their head around corners and stuff was Charlie. I never felt anything bad or evil or malevolent. It was spooky,
No,
it'd freak you
never.
out.
It was creepy. I'll be honest.
But
It was
for
creepy.
a 15-year-old teenage girl who is already 15 and a hormonal teenage mess, that was a really fun experience to navigate. And thank God for Aunt Kat, because I called it after we saw the head, and we were both feeling like little girls, and then we were holding each other, and y'all's fans flew off the side of the
It's true.
freaking table. Not even kidding you. It was like, oh, you're not going to pay attention to me leaning out here?
Yeah.
Wham, there goes your fan.
Yeah,
And
so I can't sleep without a fan on my nightstand. I've been like that my entire life because of growing up with a ghost in my house and hearing it at night. I would use the fan to drown out the sound. So now I've just gotten in the habit of needing a bedside fan to fall asleep. And yeah, sure enough. And the way it flew off was almost like someone took the cord, because you saw the cord stretched, like someone had yanked.
It was almost like, if you
cord.
can imagine a small table side fan sitting on your bedside table, instead of it being like knocked to the side, like away from the bed,
Yeah.
it was like somebody had put their hand between the wall and the fan and shoved it over the drawers. So the cord was stretched and the fan was hanging.
Yeah.
Y'all, we didn't sleep that night.
No.
No.
Why?
And we
What could
just
possibly go
with
wrong?
each other.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
I
we were like-
realized that the guy in the closet was there all the time. Like there were all the time, morning, night, like he'd just poke out at random times. And it wasn't consistent as far as time. Like the footsteps in the living room were very consistent. Certain
Yeah, it was like
days,
9
certain
something
times
every
in
morning.
evenings.
Yeah.
Like it's the same. But the guy in the closet, it was just random. And I swear to God, and it's like, it didn't matter if the doors were closed. Didn't matter if they were open. There's his head popping out. And you're like, holy shit.
I always just assumed it was Charlie, just because that's the history. I knew the person, and with him passing, I just always assumed it was him. So I would talk to it, even if it wasn't around. If I was just there by myself and just bored, I would just talk to it and just have a conversation.
Maybe that's why we had so many issues in Kyle. I'm not saying that it was Charlie in the Kyle house. Like, you be talking to shit that you don't know, Uncle JD.
Yeah, for a little background, almost every place we've lived has been
Almost.
haunted to one degree or another, and I was not always a believer. Well, I've always believed in ghosts, but I've been extremely skeptical. Like, if somebody tells me their ghost story, I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, you're full of shit."
And then he experienced it. It's like,
and
maybe
then
you're not as full of shit.
And then now I'm like, man, am I full of shit? Because 3 of 5 places we live.
yeah. I mean,
You know,
but Kristen can
haunted.
vouch. She was there in Kyle. We talked about
Yeah,
the
there's been-
footsteps up in our bedroom. If you're in the living room, you can hear someone walking. If you're asleep in the master,
That was
You
the
hear
house
someone walking.
where the ghost flushed the toilet while I was taking a shower.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
I was
forgot
by
about
myself
that.
and it flushed the toilet. Like, I could hear it wasn't just the toilet running. Like, I heard the handle move, it flushed, and I thought the cat was back from the store. No, I was still there by myself.
Yeah, he called me. I was at HEB still.
That's the first that I've heard a ghost flush a toilet.
I laughed my ass off. I
Maybe-
thought it was hilarious.
Maybe he dropped a ghostly deuce. I don't know.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a
Why?
courtesy
You're
flush. Frank,
Hey.
it's a courtesy flush.
I've had those ghost poops where you wipe and there's nothing on the paper.
Ooh. Or you poop and there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing in the toilet. And you're like, I know I shit. I've wiped. It's there. Like, I shit, but it's not in the toilet.
Ghost poop.
It's not in the turlet.
Hey, it wouldn't be Southpaw's Tales from the Bar Stool unless we had poop talk at some point or another during the
Hey.
episode. So, Chris, we're going to go ahead and let you go here. We're going to be talking with Frank some more and then getting on some other phone calls. But thank you for taking the time out of your day to
Thank you.
share a little bit of horror story with us.
Of course, I have a wholesome horror story. If you have another minute to spare, if not, we can.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's
give
hear
it to
it.
us. Give it to us.
Okay, so this one just happened recently, y'all. I just had my second baby in March, and I'm a firm believer that when you have a baby, that they are obviously fresh to this world, but their soul is is also not necessarily like new here, but they've just transitioned from that other side to here. So we have a lot of visitors from the other side come in. I like to believe that it's family. And I'm standing there in my room thinking about really nothing too much, folding laundry, whatnot. And my best friend Jen is with me, and both my babies are in my room. And out of the front living room, so across the house, we hear a ding, like a ding. Jen thinks, my best friend thinks that it's a doorbell. I start laughing. I'm like, no, it's not the doorbell. Go ahead and check. So she runs to the front door and she's like, dude, nobody's there, but I heard this bell. Like, it's my singing bowl. And I'm a yoga instructor. I have a cabinet full of singing bowls, and each singing bowl has a pillow that rests inside of it. So I pull out the singing bowl. Sure enough, there's a pillow inside of it. Take the pillow out, I ding it. It's the same exact sound. Jen turns white when she hears it. So I'm wondering, okay, who paid a visit? So I speak, it's like Uncle JD did. But I speak out loud to whoever was here and was like, hey, I hear you. Thank you so much for visiting. Please continue on wherever you're going and have safe travels. So much love. I go back to my room. Mom calls me. Mom goes, Chris, I need you to sit down. We've had a death in the family. And I said, oh, no. What happened? And she goes, yeah, Graham just passed away. And I just wanted to let you know that. And I said, oh my
This was
gosh.
2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
When did she pass away? And she goes, oh, she passed away about 20 minutes ago.
Oh,
Y'all.
my God.
Yeah, it
She
was.
came to my house to get her wings
Oh,
and to see the
wow.
babies.
Yeah, that's like right at 2 weeks ago. When did we go
Yeah.
out? It was the night that we went out with
Story.
everybody from work.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's
That is.
crazy.
And that is
That's
very
unbelievable.
recent. Holy cow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just, when you guys had texted earlier, we're like, hey, ghost stories. I was like, oh, yes, I have
Yeah.
a lot of really good ones
So-
with me and Cat and Uncle JD, but
So grandma
one
must
is
have
the
liked you
back
more than me
pocketed.
because she didn't visit me.
well, you will have to get her and pick up on with that lady.
She's like, that fucker's probably in jail. I'm not bailing him out. She's always convinced
Okay,
you're in jail.
background on what Kat just said. My grandmother called
Oh my gosh.
called
Sorry.
my mom at some point
Yeah.
in hysterics, saying that she is not bailing me out of jail. And I get somebody had harvested my personal information to the point of knowing that my brother had just passed away and called my grandmother saying that I needed pretending to be me, saying that I needed like 10 grand bail to
Bail
get out of
money.
jail.
And he didn't want to call
And then
me.
used the fact, used Randy's name, my
Well,
sister's
my
name, all this other
name.
stuff, and was trying to scam her out of money. And my mom calls me up. She's in hysterics. What the fuck did you do this time? I'm like, what do you mean? And she explains to me, I'm like, no, I'm on the clock right now. There's no way I could be in jail. I'm working. And so, yeah, so what I figure it was is, and I did some research on it, and there's people that'll actually go and they'll read obituaries and they will get all the information as far as living, the people that are still living.
Because people are pieces of shit.
And
Yep.
and use that information to go and scam people out of money down the line. They give it just enough time where people start going back to life as normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then they will call the older generation, which are easy to do because the older you get stupid again. I guess that's how it works. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, you're not there yet? Whoops.
I'm getting there.
Oh, geez, burn.
But yeah, so
He's like 50 now, right?
But yeah, so they tried scamming my grandma out of a bunch of money,
Yeah, they
claiming I was in jail.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. So, yep, people are pieces of shit.
Yep. Moral
Yeah.
of the story: fuck everyone.
You got any more, Chris?
Those two are the most well
Prevalent
just one with
ones.
you and the most recent
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I have a back pocket of a lot others, like the house on Power Street in Victoria that was haunted, and I had a fun little mental episode there. You guys don't remember that?
Oh, we're gonna be
Yeah.
doing definitely some more haunted ones, just because we enjoy the shit out of it. We'll probably do another one in March.
I love them.
Yeah,
We
and
have
one
a
every
couple
year.
cemetery tales and a couple really creepy camp camping experiences too. So if you guys do more, call back.
Absolutely. We'll call you back. Thank you, babe. Thanks for
All
coming on.
Thanks for being
All
here.
right.
Take care. Love you, Chris.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bing. What was that? Bing.
Okay.
Message received.
The ding wasn't me.
Oh.
I don't know where the
That was
ding
me.
came from.
Was it? Oh, it was you?
That was me.
So,
Damn.
so you're a semi-professional amateur paranormal investigator, right?
Yes.
It's something we've done it, and
Professional.
our love for the paranormal started from a house that we'll talk about here in a little while that we lived in that was
I wouldn't say
extremely
love for
haunted.
it. I'd say curiosity for it.
to the point to where we've actually had wedding anniversaries dedicated to the theme being ghosts and hauntings. So we
Nice.
went to San Antonio
It's true.
and stayed at a haunted hotel, one of the haunted
Emily
rooms,
Morgan. Mhm.
which is the Emily Morgan. It's right across, like you can see the Alamo from our window.
Yeah.
Like it's right next to the Alamo.
we went to that.
we did the haunted.
bar.
We did the walking haunted ghost tour through downtown. It takes you all the most haunted areas.
We went to
really
the
cool
Meanger.
history.
That's what it was. The Meanger bar.
Yeah, the Meanger
'cause
bar,
that's
which is one of the most haunted
in
bars.
theory as well.
Had a really nice cigar, some brandy that
Yeah.
were there.
Yeah, we had cigars and brandy. It was
Nice.
awesome.
So our entire anniversary
Ours.
was based around
Our entire-
paranormal.
Our entire anniversary, we were like,
Nice.
We have-
spirits, come join us.
We rented the Yorktown Abandoned Hospital in Yorktown, Texas. It's been on Ghost Adventures, and it's
Yeah.
also been on Destination Fear.
Yes.
We went there between the two shows, had been there, and it was just us and another couple rented it out for the night. You stay, basically they just unchain the front door and say, have at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's no electricity in the place except for like one extension cord coming off the main outside.
Yeah.
So
About right.
basically, if you got to charge your cell phone or something like that, that's all you can.
Yeah,
really
you
do.
got a camera, you got whatever you got. You
But-
got what you got. You don't got what they got.
I definitely want to go back because since then, at the time, we just had like a EMF meters,
Mhm.
couple of wireless digital microphones or digital recorders,
Recorders.
cameras, cell phone cameras, things like that. But since then, I've acquired a 12-channel infrared camera system with DVR. I just gotta get
Nice.
Well,
all the
because
longer
you know
wires
how it
and
is
stuff.
when you're investigating a place, you're in one area and shit's happening in another, and it's always like that. Doesn't matter where you're at, shit's happening somewhere else.
And what's
So yeah,
So what I found so odd about that place is not odd, just I wasn't expecting it. It was an old Catholic hospital. It was ran by the nuns and the priests.
Mhm.
And so in there obviously was a Catholic sanctuary, church area.
yes,
And all the shows and all the history and all this stuff always says, oh, the church is the most haunted area and the scariest area. And honestly, the church is where I felt most safe, most comfortable, and
Oh, yeah.
most relaxed.
we had a great
and
time.
I'm not
Actually,
the best Christian, definitely not
It
a
was
Catholic.
like what 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when we went to the chapel. The second, like for the long period where we were making jokes and having a good
The-
time, and things really lightened. And then after that,
The air was different.
we
Like,
had
Oh, yeah.
a different night after that. Before that, it was freaking crazy. We had a lot of experiences, but after that, everything seemed so freaking calm the rest of the night. I mean, we got a lot of recordings even after that. We got a lot of video, audio, but
yeah, 95% of anything we got was EVP.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
stuff we
more.
heard at the time. It wasn't.
yes, and some of
um,
it was, yeah.
And like I said earlier, how I'm a skeptical believer. When Kat and I are listening to the EVPs, we each have our own sets of headphones. And if one of us hears something, we're like, all right, stop, rewind it, and leave it at that. Nobody ever says what they think they heard because you don't want that subconscious
Power
bias.
of persuasion. power of
And
persuasion.
so we'll write down what we hear. And if we both hear the same thing, then it'll probably be more likely to be real
It's
than
more
if
substantial that way.
we hear different things. And if we hear different things, then we kind of write it off.
Exactly.
Just because it can't be proven at that point.
Chicken
Well, and-
cooking itself in the library.
What about
And
you, Frank? How do you like to do stuff?
And that's one of the things that you got to do is you have to go in knowing that you've got to debunk a lot of
Yeah.
things, and that's where having an EMF reader, for those of you who don't know, electronic magnetic field reader. And then you mentioned EVPs, which is taking recordings, which is electronic voice phenomenon. And you've got to sit there and you got to record them. And you have to listen for different sounds. Like instance, we had one situation where we were investigating a house, and it was about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we started hearing sounds of like something that was just crackling, and we couldn't figure out what it was. And we heard it, we stopped, and we went back. And luckily, I think at the time we had a group of 5 of us, and we went outside, and lo and behold, there was a guy out 4 blocks away working on his Harley. You know what I mean? So
I would explain it.
Exactly. So you hear that crackling sound, and you all know what a Harley sounds from the distance. You get that,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
popping and
And then the recording obviously
Got
makes it a
it.
different sound than what you hear.
oh
if you
yeah,
hear
yeah,
it.
yeah. I totally
So
get that.
you got to go out and got to debunk things. You got to listen to them carefully, and you have to have more than one person listen to it, because, like you said, if you hear one thing, somebody's going to hear something different, and if
Well-
you're not hearing the same thing, you got to throw it out.
And actually, we didn't even start recording at first because there was a football game happening not far. The
high school
the
football
high school
game
football
happening.
game was not far, like to the point you could hear the intercom. You can hear them announcing plays and stuff. So we couldn't even record it first because we knew that there would be noise pollution from that. So we decided to not record until a little further in the night, which is okay. It gave us a chance to kind of just do like a quick walkthrough. Okay.
Get a feel for the whole
Get a
area.
feel, yeah.
Because
Get a feel for the layout and see and kind of make a plan for the night of what we're gonna do. Because there was just 4 of us in this big abandoned hospital. So we were like, okay, are we gonna split up? Are we gonna do this?
But-
We wanted to see the smells first, or see the smells, but you know what I mean? Experience the smells. Like apparently that's like a thing.
No,
in
yeah,
this
there's the
hospital.
one room. This hospital has been closed and abandoned for decades.
Yes.
It's pretty much falling
and
apart.
it wasn't a hospital when it closed. It was like, well, not a actual hospital.
Yeah,
it was like a
shelter
mental
or
health,
something.
and then
Yeah.
it was a rehab facility.
But
like a
there's
halfway.
one room, and the guy that was the groundskeeper, I really enjoyed the way he did things. Is he didn't pump us full of stories, so we're expecting certain things. He just said, okay, this was the labor and delivery, this was the ER, this was the nurse's station, and just left it at that. Didn't tell us any of the stories so that we could experience stuff on our own without any bias.
Yes.
With the exception of one thing, and he's like, I want you to come over here in this corner of this room, and this room's got old filing cabinets and dust and debris and just funk of just because there's no windows. Vandals have broke out all the windows, and
yeah,
it's just. But there's this corner, and it smelled like
Band-Aids.
Band-Aid. As soon
Like,
as you
it smells
open
like bandages.
the package, that
Yeah.
has a very distinct smell of Band-Aid.
Yes, it had. I mean, it was.
And
instant,
it's in one
obvious-
specific spot,
Mhm.
and you step out of that ring or that circle or whatever, and it disappears, and you walk right back into it, and it's just like you can close your eyes and you can imagine yourself being in a well-lit operating room with a bandage right in front of your
Yeah.
face.
It was
Mhm.
crazy.
It's so weird.
It was so cool.
But going back to the recordings, for anybody that's wanting to get into things like this, you want to start doing it. The hell was that?
What was that?
Something that I'm trying to pull up to send to you.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, if you're doing
was
EVP
it-
recordings, whether you're using a digital recorder, you're using your phone, anything like that, things that a lot of new people forget to do or don't do at all, and it's something that I learned by accident, is tagging any sounds that you know what they are, so you don't confuse them for paranormal stuff later. If you clear your throat, say, "Hey, I cleared my throat." Coughing, car driving by. Oh, I just.
Yeah.
Anything like that that's gonna you think might be confused for something out of the ordinary when you're listening again. Make sure you tag it and say what it is. That way, it doesn't confuse you and waste your time moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things that you have to take consideration in a lot of this stuff is that you have to go in open-minded. If you're going in that you're expecting to be scared as hell, you're going to be scared as, you're going to be scared as can be, because you're nervous, you're anxious, and you're going to be
Exactly.
on edge. It's just like the whole thing of people that are okay, I'm going to put a curse on you. Well, it's not somebody putting a curse on you. It's you're being overly cautious and you're paying attention to everything, and then you're stumbling and tripping over everything, and, always wondering what's going on.
yeah.
So if you go in there with an open mind, you're going to have more of an opportunity. And, I sent in the link of private chat a video that we did back 9 years ago in a house. And that's one of the things with this house that we done is this lady claimed that there were demons, and, her and a kid were almost hurt, and, and she's trying to make money off it, but that's another story. But so what we did is any good paranormal investigator will actually find the story of the house, and then take time to do research. Find out who owned it, what was there, any records of anything happened. She made claims that it was on a ley line, and if anybody, go ahead and Google what a ley line is. You understand that it's where, things link and a lot of paranormal stuff happen. And she also claimed that it was part of the Underground Railroad. Well, there was no history documenting that there was any Underground Railroad there or anything else.
Huh.
So we went into this house, and we actually started there. We just went there initially was just to go to a tour. And that's where I met my buddies now, Dave Swan and Heather Swan, and we started Ghost Mafia Paranormal.
Ghost Mafia, that's awesome.
Yeah, we started Ghost Mafia, and we met it there initially on the tour, and then we, started to find we had interest, and we've done this before, and we started a group, and we wanted to go back and actually investigate the house without a bunch of people there. And one of the things that we found, and I sent you the video, and we actually were able to have the entity there, and our EMF meters just bounced. And we literally requested it to drop the temperature. I forget what the degrees were and everything else, but we literally watched the thermometer, and it was dropping the temperature to the exactly what we said it wanted it to drop it to.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, like I said, I sent you the link to the video on the Facebook page.
Can we play that on air?
I've never tried. Let's see.
We're gonna see if we can play this.
All right, we're gonna watch JD fuck
We
everything
have
else real
no
quick.
idea
Let's
if
see
we're
here.
this talented or not. We don't have a stinking clue.
Okay, so if
we
I
can
go
see
to
it.
share,
That was right before I moved out here to California. It was the last investigation that I did.
All right, so
Ooh, me. Go. Wait, what?
so we're gonna try something here. Boom. All right, let's.
No.
Nope,
That
that's
didn't
not
work.
working. Let's
Do
see.
it the other way. Go back. Try it again.
And
Gimme.
actually,
Gimme.
Hold up.
Go
Wait.
away.
Hey, stop hitting my fingers because you're making me do stupid shit.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's just.
I told you there's an. Okay, no, you just went to the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this is horrible.
Okay,
Horrible.
can
Horrible.
I?
Let me. No, you can't.
Oh, I know how to do it.
Let's stop that screen share. Let's try share again. Share screen. Boom.
Entire screen.
Chrome tab.
Oh, wait.
That one. Share.
Okay.
Let's see. So there we go. Okay.
Okay. Now play.
Now let's play it. See what we got.
Play.
Hey, I'm.
Is it working?
you got to enable sound.
Close out that
Where's the sound?
and expand it. Expand it. There. Got it. Now noise. There.
All right, there we go. Okay, so y'all have just
72 even.
It was right in the caption.
It ain't 70.
No, but it's dropping. It's dropped.
You can't.
It's dropped a full degree.
You can't do it. I was the antagonizer.
Oh,
Watch that
doesn't
EMF meter.
surprise me.
71.5,
Nope, that went back up.
72, 71.5.
Like I said, you can't do it.
I need 70 degrees. You want me to leave this room? Give me 70 degrees.
700.
Wait, is there something going on in the
70
background?
degrees, just
Like
drop it.
voices?
A degree and a half from
There's somebody there.
down, and I will leave this room and leave you alone. Until then, I'm here. You might as well get used to it.
That's my buddy Dave, and I'm across the way.
One flat. 70.5.
No, you still can't do it. I don't think you
He's still going.
Nope.
70.5. You drop it, I will get up and leave this room. I want to see 70 flat.
I just came across the stop. I ain't stopping nothing. You can't do it.
75.
Can't do it.
70.5. It's
It's
trying.
not.
It's trying.
There's no way.
Are you getting this, Pat?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
71 even.
Oh,
70
oh,
flat.
Look, hi Dave. It's lighting up.
It dropped 3
Look.
degrees.
They're right now. See the EMF meter.
I
Balancing
ran
in
my
the
word.
center.
I'm going to leave
He
this
said
room.
apologize.
Yeah, he said apologize.
I'm sorry I offended you, and I will leave this room right now.
And so,
And you said he was typing. I better hit this.
You have proved yourself to me for
As soon
tonight.
as they drop the 77 apologies.
Boy, you better walk out after that. You promised.
You got to show that to Kristen.
Okay.
He said to apologize.
I did.
Okay, now I gotta figure this out.
Okay, so
Hold on.
deminimize the room.
Hold on. We're gonna pause this.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm
Okay.
here at the NAM show, and I'm going to go find the
Give it-
coolest pieces
What
of
the
guitar
heck?
gear I
Hold
possibly
on.
The mouse.
can. So,
Oh my God!
What the heck is going?
Close that
There
window.
you go. You're closed. It's us now.
There you
My
go.
God.
I said, give me the damn mouse.
But yeah, we went.
Boy,
we went
you
back
can't be
there.
working on your phone and working on the damn mouse. I was trying to help out, so
I
stop
was
being an
doing-
ass.
I can do everything.
Oh my God.
You know why?
You know what? I'm like up to here with your fucking attitude, man. That's it. Get out.
You get out.
You get out.
So we're gonna take another call from Kathy, who's gonna tell us some ghost stories. That's my sister, and I don't know which story she's gonna tell, but there was
I
one.
know.
She went. I don't know which story she's gonna tell, but there was one time in high school where her, my brother, and a bunch of their
So
friends.
why are
went
you
to-
ruining shit?
No. I'm not, all I'm gonna say is they went to a haunted place. They came home. She was so scared that she woke me up and made me sleep in her room because she was freaked out. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what story she's gonna tell, but that's funny. So let's give her a call right here.
A call with
A
an H?
call, yes.
With an H.
Yeah. You like pushing my buttons?
Go,
aren't
I'm gonna push every
you?
button.
You are pushing my buttons.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Kathy, you are live.
You are live on
Southpaw's
Southpaw.
Tales from
What?
Marshall.
What?
So yeah, we
I
got
was
a
just
Frank
live
here.
on downtown Disney or Epcot, drinking around the world.
Oh,
Hey.
well, hey, we're drinking right here in Texas. So there you go.
And Frank's in,
All right.
in California.
Yay. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
It is.
Well, I'm not in California. I am in Florida. So
Florida.
you know
So we've
everything.
been talking about ghosts and paranormal and stuff we've experienced. Kristen was on a little bit ago, talked about a house that we lived in Beeville where she experienced some stuff. Frank's been talking. He's a semi-professional amateur paranormal investigator. More professional than what we are, but we still have fun doing it.
Well, yeah, we're not professional.
So he's here to
So you
kind of
wanna-
chime in on the stories as well that we tell and kind of give his professional opinions about it. And so what do you got going for us, Kathy?
All right. So well, I got a couple. So one was when I lived in California, and I was a bartender over at the Officers Club and the Chiefs Club. We knew that there was something that was in there, especially more so on the officer side. And a couple of things that happened that was really weird. You close and you're by yourself. So I was closing up, and I thought, man, it just feels really weird. And I saw this older couple that had walked in, and I was like, hey, can you tell them that they can't go through that entrance because it's closed? I don't even know how they got in there. And one of the people that was helping me close that, and I never wanted to be alone because it scared me. He was like, Kathy, there's not an older couple out there. And I was like, I swear to God, I saw it. So like weeks passed, and then I was going through a divorce with my ex, and I'm sitting in there and I'm crying and at the corner, and one of my friends was there with me, and I look over at him and I said, I'm kind of uncomfortable right now. Can we just leave? And his eyes were like as big as saucers, and he was like, yeah, let's go. And as soon as we walked out and I closed the door, so you know those big sheet trays that they use to like make wings or bake shit or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that flew across the wall and hit it as soon as I closed the door.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit!
Wow.
I was like, okay.
Someone did not
And I
like
looked
the
at him
wings.
and I said, I was like, chicken wing, chicken wing. No, no, no.
It was
Anyway, no, I asked him, I was like,
the
hey,
ghost of chickens past.
it flew right out the door.
Why did
No,
the
I told
chicken
him I
cross the
said-
road?
Because no.
Mm.
I told him, I said, I felt something on the back of my neck, like all the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. And he said, he goes, yeah, I saw it. I said, what did you see? He said it was really big and it was not very happy and I wanted to not be in there. He goes, it's not good. I said, what do you mean it's not good? He goes, maybe it's feeding off of your energy, but whatever it is not good that's in there.
Was it like a person or just a blob of energy? Like,
no,
what was it
he
described
said it
of?
was a big blob. He said it looked like, because I never saw it. I just felt like something was looking at me. Have you ever had somebody just stare at you and you know that they're staring at you, that look that you feel like
Yeah.
it's looking in the back
Cat
of
does
your
it
head?
to me all the time.
I'm glaring
Right.
at you. Glaring
Glaring.
at you.
I felt it and it made all the hair on the back of my neck stand up. And all I saw was a look on his face, which was his eyes got big and you could tell that he was a little scared. And we walked out and that's when that big sheet pan hit. And I had asked him, I was like, well, what did you see? I said, I felt it. And he said, I saw this big thing that went and it moved towards the top, towards the ceiling, out around the bar and over behind you. And I went, what was it? He goes, bad. That's what it was. And that's all I was ever
Shit.
told.
Okay.
Just
so
bad.
so bad is good enough description in some
On a scale of 1 to 10,
circumstances.
it was bad.
Well, you touched on it. One of the things is with, a lot of entities that they do feed off of personal emotion. So
right. And I was going through a very terrible divorce at the time, and it definitely knew, apparently. Yeah. And I tell you what, I never ever closed that bar by myself again after that. Ever.
Nope. You
no.
don't pay me enough to deal with the other side.
Exactly.
No.
There was
and you know what's funny is that working there, and I had told one of my patrons that, and he was from Saudi Arabia because the military used to train people from other countries all the time. We would get British people in, British pilots, and we had some from Saudi Arabia. And I asked him, I said, do you guys have that over there? And he goes, oh, we have it everywhere. He goes, and we know that it's everywhere. He goes, think about it. We're the beginning of creation. And of course we have death that surrounds us all the time. He goes, our countries are always in a war. He was from Saudi Arabia. And he was talking about how it was nothing for people to see ghosts all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's in the Bible.
All I want to know is in 100 years from now, are people going to be like, I saw this ghost. It was wearing Jinkos and had frosted hair.
And it had a mask on its face.
She looked like Madonna in like the Virgin, like a virgin.
Yeah, because like all the ghosts that we see are all Victorian era or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's like, are they going to see like Ross from Friends?
There's a ghost and
he was wearing a sweater vest.
She keeps tweeting.
She's walking around with a mask on her face.
She's doing TikTok dances in my living room.
She's doing a dance. Now, I will say that I have seen, and I have had more than my fair share, like when JD, when our brother had passed away. I don't know if you've already talked about that.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so when my brother had passed away, mine and JD's brother, and it was devastating because it was a very tragic thing and it was very sudden. So we are all sitting that morning. We all decided to go sit on his front porch, and we were all sitting there. And it was myself. Right next to me was our dad. Right next to Dad was JD. Right next to JD was Kat, and right next to Kat was Scott, Randy's best friend, which is our older brother. And now in front of us was my oldest daughter, Kristen, and her at the time boyfriend. And then to my left was my oldest son. And so, my only son, my oldest, my only, whatever. So we're all, there's a group of us all there. And then the phone rings. And here's my side. I see JD answer it. And then JD goes, no, it's not a joke. No, my brother fucking died. It's not a joke. And then right about that point in time, the headlights on the pickup truck, our brother's pickup truck, turned on. And we all stopped. And we all looked at each other like, you see that? And then I looked at Dad. I go, Dad, you got Randy's keys in your pocket? He goes, I do.
Yeah,
and I
he
was
did.
like, can you check them? And he walked all the way up to the truck, and he was hitting the lock and unlock button, and the lights still didn't turn off. And he opened the door. He goes, the doors are blocked. And he opened the door and he said, guys, it was you had to, at his truck, you had to click it 2 notches over to turn the lights on. And we all went, what? And then we asked his friend Scott, we're like, Scott, were the lights on? He's like, I pulled my motorcycle right and parked it right in front of that truck. There is no way in hell that those lights could have been on, because I would have told you, turn your fucking lights off, you idiot, because you left them on.
Yeah.
But they were off. Well, fast forward about a week or so, and Mom comes over and she's crying, and she said, I just saw your brother. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I just saw your brother. He was standing whole, complete, right in front of us. She goes, I just saw him. He was just standing there and he was smiling. His mouth never moved. But he said, Mom, I'm okay. Just know I'm finally happy. I love you. Don't be sad. And then and she said that she blinked and then he was gone. And then she sat down on the front porch and she cried.
The hair on my arms is standing up on end, like reliving.
Well, Kathy was
stories.
there when remember Deegan was a baby. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't a baby.
Yeah.
He was like 2 or 3 years old when he passed.
And he would talk to Randy.
He would talk to him, and
even
knew where his injuries were. And he was not at the funeral. They didn't know what happened to him.
All they knew that was Uncle Randy went to heaven, and that's all we really told
At the time, they didn't know. Now they know. They're old enough to know.
Right.
But at the time, they didn't.
Right.
But he could tell you exactly where his injuries were. Like he kept saying his neck was messed up, and that his arm, like there was a like something sticking out right here, and we're like, oh, like how the hell does he know that? But Kathy was the first one to point it out. She's like, he's talking to Uncle Randy, and I was like,
he's talking to Randy.
What?
Because I would ask him, who are you talking to? He's like, I talked to Uncle Randy. And I'm like, oh, what are you talking about? Oh, he's happy. I'm like, oh, okay.
I think the only experiences I ever had with Randy afterwards were
dreams.
Were in dreams, and I think that's just psychological, just my brain working shit out.
I will tell you, the night that Dad died. So, I mean, we had a really shitty 3 years. I'm just gonna say, And for me, it was a really shitty 4 years. But actually, the 4th year was kind of a blessing in disguise. But whatever. So our brother passed away. Then
11 months later.
Yeah. Our dad passed away. And then a year later, our uncle passed away. And then a year after that, my ex-husband left me for a chick he was working with. But I mean, that's a blessing in disguise.
And we actually
all the other stuff.
And then we lost a kid.
We lost a baby in between his dad and his uncle. Yeah, we lost baby Trace. Yeah, around there too. So we had a lot of death in a very
there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
Right, there was a lot going on. But anyway, the night that Dad had died, and JD, you and Kat stayed on Mom's couch, and I was like, Mama, I'll go in and I'll sleep with you, but I swear to God, you have to wear your pajamas because I will not let you sleep with me.
My mom is a hippie, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
She shits in her front yard.
I was like, that's not happening. You have to wear pajamas. I don't even know if you own a pair, but you have to sleep with something on.
Put a shirt on.
So I'm in there, and I go to sleep with her, and I wake up, and it was like 5:55 in the morning. And I see my dad standing right at the bedside. And he looked good. He didn't have his glasses on. His hair was dark. And now our dad had salt and pepper hair. And it was thinning. And he had glasses when he passed, right? So, and he passed. And if you knew the story, he passed at home.
Yes.
He went in to go to the bath. He tells Mom, yeah, I'll go to the ER. Let me just go to the bathroom. And he collapses and dies, which, by the way, that's how I want to go. Super fast.
Not me. Sex. I want to go during sex.
I want to go because of sex.
You just want to traumatize the other person.
As long as I want to come and then go. That is my dream.
Come and go and traumatize.
Did you hear your nephew? He goes, that's a banger.
Yeah, it is. That's my dream.
Wah.
Everyone's got their dream. That's my dream.
So I see Dad there, and I was like, wow, he looks great. And then he said, he looks right at me and he said, I said, Dad. And he said, I love you, Boo. And I was like, I love you too. And he goes, tell your mom I love her. I said, I will. And he goes, tell your mom that everything's going to be okay. I said, okay. And then he said, take care of your mom. I said, I will. He goes, tell your brother I love him. I said, I will. And then that was it. And then he was gone. Well, then it was right after it was right before he was buried, but it was after his funeral. So the way that it worked out, our dad's funeral was one day and then he was buried a couple days later, just the way it worked. So it was in between that time. And it was the weirdest thing because I woke up 5:55 in the morning and there's my dad standing at my bedside holding my brother's hand, like holding hands, like if they're fixing to go skip merrily along the way. And they're holding hands and they're both smiling. And Dad says, tell your mom I have your brother. I said, okay. And he goes, tell your mom I love her. I said, okay. He goes, we have to go. I said, okay. And then that was it. And then they were both gone. Well, then my mom calls me in tears. And she's like, Kathy, I need you to come over. I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? She goes, something just happened. I'm like, what? She goes, I'll tell you when you come over. We'll just do coffee. I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I get my clothes on and I run over to her house. And she's like, Kathy, the weirdest thing happened. She goes, I was woken up at 6 o'clock this morning. I said, okay. She goes, it was your dad and Randy. I saw them. Your dad never said anything to me, but it was the back side of them. It was your dad and your brother. And they were walking towards this big, beautiful, bright light. And the closer they got to the light, the younger that your brother got. And she said, he was about 5 when he walked through the light with your dad. And then that was it.
And I was never visited by any of them because they didn't love me.
You're such a liar.
You were not the favorite.
You know, you want to know
No,
why?
my problem was I was extremely drunk.
Do
For
you
about
want
2
no? Do you
years.
want to know why? Cool? Because they know you won't listen for shit. That's why.
Valid, very valid.
I'll tell you one about Randy. Yeah, well, Nick will tell you one about Randy. Hold on.
Yeah, so it was basically in the month after he'd passed, and I think I was about 16 or 17 at the time. Obviously, being a dumb teenager and kind of not knowing shit, I was asking for him. I was calling out to him in my room at like 9 o'clock at night. I was like, "Hey, Uncle Randy, if you hear me, just give me a sign." And like right after that, my Xbox turned on, and I was like, "Okay, that's kind of a weird coincidence right there." And so I shut it off, and I was like, "That's fucking weird." And I went and told my mom about it, and my mom came back in. I did the same thing. My Xbox turned on again. I was like, "Okay, don't do that anymore." And
so it happened. You're like, you said, "All right, I'm gonna turn it off because maybe it's a glitch or something." And he said, "If it's really you, do it again." And then he did it. And you're like, "Okay, you're creeping me out."
I told him to never do it again. And after that, I've never had any signs of him at all. The only thing I've ever heard is Kristen telling me stuff that he's told her in her dreams, but he's never come to me again after that.
Yeah, that's.
I was like, wow.
Hi, Nick. Welcome to an adult podcast, by the way.
Yeah, hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
He is an adult.
Hi, Nick. Me again.
Yeah, it's weird knowing that my nephew is old enough to
yeah,
drink.
he's drinking around the world at Disney right now. Your nephew.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose of us being here, is so that we could drink around the
Oh
world.
my God, do you remember how little he was? He was smaller than.
I just popped a bottle of
Deegan.
champagne, but
Oh shit.
Oh God.
I've
She's
got a
gonna get
question.
kicked out of Disney again.
So what do you got, Frank?
So she said that it happened. She said it happened at 5:55 every morning.
Yes.
What was your dad's routine in the mornings when he got up?
my dad would come home at night. He would fall asleep out on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
He
not
slept
sleeping.
in
I
for like
rest my
9 or
eyes.
10 till my mom bitched at him to wake up. I mean, nothing spectacular.
When did he wake up in the morning?
What time did he wake up in the mornings?
Well, my mom would force him to get up at probably between 9 and 10. I don't know. He liked to sleep in, but all I knew of.
No, his work days. I don't know what time he got
And he
up.
worked all the time, so he might have woken
Well,
up.
I mean, he
around
literally
6.
worked until the day he died.
Yeah, he might have woken up at 6 to go to work.
I'm wondering because that
depended
sounds
on
like
if
it's.
he was doing a morning, a day, or like the day that he came home. So he came home from work at 10 o'clock at night because he was doing a mid shift because they had to alternate, right? So they did mornings, mids, and then night shift.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was on the mid shift. He had come home that night, got home at like 11, between 11 and 11:30. And Mom said, "You don't look so good."
No,
He
it was
said,
before
"Well,"
that because Mom called me and I was still.
She called to
awake.
ask how to do CPR.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
10 o'clock when she called me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but he had just come home
Yeah.
from work. So whatever time that swing shift was, that mid shift,
God bless me.
whatever time.
Sorry.
Do what?
Oh, I'm so sorry. There has been a sneeze stuck in my nose all day, and it just released on freaking podcast. But you know what? God bless you. Thank you, Jesus. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm just.
Yeah. So I don't really know. I just know that sometimes he had to wake up early at 5-ish, and sometimes he had to wake up. Hey, is it bad if I take my steroid now with medication?
But Betty wakes up.
Totally not bad, right?
But Betty wakes
My
up
mom wakes up early.
around 6 every morning. So maybe he was
Yeah,
that.
Mom
She,
did.
she
Yeah,
is an
Mom
early
was-
riser.
Maybe that's why. Maybe
just
he was
wondering,
on
'cause
her schedule.
A lot of things.
For once.
A lot of times, whenever an entity does, present itself, it's usually within a routine or a time that they're used to, or a time that the person is accustomed to as well.
Like it's a significant time.
Yeah, significant.
Got it. Significant.
Because I was trying to think. I used to get up at like 4:30 to go to work because Kat and I used to drive from Beeville down to Corpus to go to work at the hospital down
True.
there, and I was there at 4:30. But it wasn't necessarily a time that I would associate something with me. So maybe it would be something with him or my mom.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
But I just thought it was weird. It was,
Or
by the
maybe
way,
he
the
just
older
wanted
I've
to be
gotten-
the fun guy he was and be like, fuck you, I'm waking you up at 5:55.
Betty woke me up every day for
Look.
40 years. I'm gonna wake y'all's asses up.
He didn't wake me up saying, "It's time to get up. It's time to get up."
Oh my God, it could have been
That
worse. It
dad
could have been the
reveille.
Dane Fraser done shit.
Oh no,
that I-
Dad used to do that reveille for. He would actually say, "It's time to get up." It's time. He would.
No
Yeah, oh,
way.
yeah. It was reveille
Wow.
with those words when he woke you up.
That's awesome.
It wasn't fun.
Oh my God. My dad used to flip on lights to go up. That's why every time Jenny would be like, "Hurry up!" I'm like, "I'm gonna fuck. I can't smack my dad. I can smack you, motherfucker. I can get you."
Oh my God! It's my drill sergeant that would say that. Anyway, hurry up!
Yeah, he'd go
Like
up.
just straight up diaphragm up.
And Dad's probably watching right now. I love you, but oh my God, I did not want you to wake me. I wanted to smack you, but I couldn't because I was terrified of you.
Well, Kathy, we definitely appreciate the phone call and you sharing. Enjoy the rest of your Disney vacation.
Yes,
We're
tell
so
Nick
jealous.
we say we love y'all, and
We're
y'all
gonna let you go so we can.
don't
get
get kicked out.
Yeah, don't get kicked out of Disney.
I can't.
Tell him to
Well,
stop
that's
saying
good.
pussy in the bar at Disney, and y'all won't get kicked out.
Yeah, you
Hey,
can't,
look,
can't say 4 and
Nick
5 letter
said
words.
pretty nasty thing a couple of days ago at the bar at Disney, and we did not get kicked out. The bartender laughed at him.
All it caused was the bartender remembered me the next day. so I
Hey,
didn't have
because
to-
she got a huge tip from your mom, so you wouldn't get kicked out. That's why.
Fuck yeah, that's
No,
true.
I went to the bar. It's like, oh yeah, you're my foul mouth customer. What do you want?
Yeah.
At Disney.
Wah, wah, yet
Mhm.
another generation.
Go drink around the world for all of
Yep.
us. We love you.
Have a drink in Ireland for me. But all
Already, D.
right, well, we love y'all. Y'all enjoy your vacation. We'll talk to you later.
All right, let me say bye.
All right. So we're already an hour and 13 minutes in this, so I think
We're
it's
gonna keep
time we
going.
get to the.
Well, real quick,
Oh, sorry.
I just want to let it be known that when I pass away, I want to wake like we had for my dad. We had
An Irish wake.
where we had like there was wood stacked up like 7 foot tall
Oh, he
before we lit it on
he
fire.
doesn't want Jameson. Okay, no Jameson.
I do
Get
want
rum.
I want
Get
I want whiskey
whiskey.
passed
Whiskey
around,
is
but I'm
fine.
not a big fan of Jameson. But yeah, the last time I drank Jameson is when as at my dad's funeral.
Yes,
and
but he doesn't
or his
like
wake.
Jameson. No Jameson will be at JD's wake. If you bring Jameson, you can drink that.
But
shit.
yeah, I want an Irish wake. I want everybody to get fucking hammered around a gigantic bonfire. I want everybody to be laughing and talking stories about how much of a big fucking idiot I was.
Good. We were gonna burn something in effigy. I hope that's okay.
Oh yeah. Burn something cool.
Burn something cool. He says.
Burn something cool like a government building or I don't
Yeah,
know,
no, we
a
don't.
school,
I
school,
wasn't-
something
no,
like that.
I wasn't planning on that.
So we are going to start telling the story of the house that we lived in that got us completely interested.
Frank,
in
do
the
you have
paranormal.
like one more story before we close out with our stuff?
I would say the only one that I've got is whenever I was in high school. There was this old abandoned school. It was the elementary in Lafferty back in Ohio, before they moved them and combined them in other schools and everything else. And we always wanted to go down there and see what it was. And finally, one day, I was thinking about 15, we decided to go down there. And if anybody remembers the old schools, they actually had rocking chairs in the rooms when they would tell stories and, story time with the kids and stuff like that. So we went into the school, and one of the rooms actually had a rocking chair in it, in one of the rooms. And when we went in there, you felt just the temperature was like at least 15 degrees colder than it was. And it was already freaking wintertime. So it was already in the, 20s or so.
This is a hell no already.
It was a lot colder in that room. And all of a sudden, the rocking chair started moving just out of nowhere. And then, mind you, okay, the windows were broken, maybe a gust of wind or whatever. No, it was no way the wind did it. It was rocking like somebody was in that damn thing. And all as we heard was just this straight growl. And all five of us, six of us, it was six of us decided to go. We decided to we just darted out. One guy literally went across the way. We were on the second story, jumped through the window, jumped out, and ran out the field. And we're going back out the main entrance.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and he broke his ankle.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
oh, fuck.
It happens when you jump.
Yeah. So that was one of the ones that, those are the two main incidents when I was a kid that really got me into the wanting to pursue the paranormal when I got older.
Well, yeah, no. Yeah, okay, one, you had me. I was out at cold. Okay, two, I was out at rocking chair. I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
not today, Satan.
Rocking chairs are
Not
creepy
today.
as fuck.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I want to rig up for next year. It's going to be the cradle is going to be rocking, and I'm going to get a rocking chair, and that's going to be in the corner. Like,
Exactly.
Awesome.
Awesome. I don't know why, but I can hear your echo. Not mine.
Can you hear my echo now?
No.
So Frank, we're going to close out with our story. So we're going to let you go. So you're not have to
Alrighty.
sit there and look super fly in your hat.
Man, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much for coming
We're definitely
on,
going to have to
Frank. We
touch base
appreciate that.
offline. Just
Absolutely.
because I
We're
love the
gonna have to make
paranormal
it an
shit. Yeah, we're going to have to
annual
make it a thing.
We're going to have to
do
do
it.
this
Let's
like
do
we're
it.
going to make it a
And
thing,
when
man.
you finally move out of California and move to South Texas,
Or you could come and do the haunted tour with us at that hospital and
definitely.
make a trip of it. You come stay
Let's
with
do
us.
it.
Go to the beach the
Do it.
next day. Yeah.
fuck
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Totally down.
Let's
But,
do it. Let's make it happen.
And we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you
We'll be
so much,
talking to you
Frank.
later, Frank. Take
Thank
care.
you so much for sharing your stories. We appreciate it.
Definitely. Have a good one. Glad to be here, guys.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Have a great one.
All right. So now it's time to
didn't
get to
mean to close
nitty gritty.
I did not mean to close it as quickly as I did. That was
was so
very
rude.
abrupt. I'm sorry.
He's like, thanks.
I did not mean to do it that fast. It was an accident. Frank, if you're watching in the slide, I'm really sorry. I did not mean to click it that quickly.
He just landlined you. Slam.
All right. So
If you know, you know.
we're gonna get right into this.
Yes,
so
we are.
when Kat and we were engaged to be engaged.
No, we were
no.
engaged, asshole.
We were engaged. Her parents did not like the fact that we were engaged, did not like me at all. Moved her away to a different college, like 8 hours away.
They didn't move me away. I went to that college, so I didn't have to go to Nebraska, which was the university that offered me. I should have probably gone to Nebraska.
You were going to be a corn husker.
But I wanted to stay in Texas so I could be close to you. Yeah.
So I sold everything I owned, which is all just music equipment, and moved up to Tyler, not knowing a fucking thing about Tyler, Texas. I went to a property management place and was like, I found this house. It was beautiful brick home, 3/4 acre property, gigantic, like 80-foot tall,
Huge.
mature pine trees, fenced in backyard, established neighborhood, $505 a month. I'm like, fucking sold because that's right about my
So-
budget.
Yeah, because I was renting an apartment, he was renting an apartment, and we just couldn't afford to pay rent in two places. Even though my parents were like, we're not, anyway. Yeah, so they weren't going to help us with rent. We knew that. So we tried to find a place we could afford, and JD found that place. And I was like, this can't be real.
So yeah, it was $505 a month.
It's
It's
fucking
fucking ridiculous. Well, and to give you a little bit of a picture, it was a duplex, but it wasn't built
Seriously.
as a duplex. It was
a house in a nice
It was a house
neighborhood.
that somebody had bought, and they just put a partition in the hallway and made it a duplex. So one side was a one bed with like a living room, kitchenette all put together, and the other side was like a big house. It was a big two bedroom.
house.
And we move into this house and nothing happens for like 2 weeks. We don't even think anything about anything. And it starts off with you wake up and every light in the house would be on. I'm talking
Yes.
bedroom lights, living room light, kitchen
Porch
light, porch light,
every light.
microwave
The
light,
bathroom
oven light.
closet light.
If there was a light that could be turned on, it would turn on. Now, mind you,
I
I'm
thought
working.
it was him.
I thought it was her. I was working construction under the table,
I was
framing houses. She's working part time.
I was mood lighting at the hospital at night as an EKG tech working the emergency
So we're
room.
we're
So
making we're
burning
both making
ends of the candle, trying to make ends meet.
yeah we're both working barely over minimum wage type jobs because she's in college
Basically.
and I'm just a retard. And
Which you're so,
I'm like,
but he's cute.
but
and
I'm
he can play
getting-
guitar.
I'm getting pissed off at her because I think that she's the one doing it because we can't afford the utilities to be burning. And this was before LED lights. Everything was still incandescent lights.
I thought it was him.
She thought it was me. So then from the lights, it goes to waking up. And not only are all the lights on, but all the doors would be open. Closet doors, cabinet doors, microwave door, oven door.
Yes.
And then the front and back door had the dud bolts that could only be locked or unlocked with a key. There was no just regular twist thingy. You had to use a key to unlock those.
Yes. Even
So-
from the inside.
For those to be unlocked, but every window still closed. I'm like, how the fuck did this happen?
Mhm.
So I'm like, I tell Kat, either you're fucking with me or one of us is sleepwalking. Those are the only two scenarios because I know it's not me. I'm not doing it.
It wasn't me.
And it wasn't her.
So the next experience, I believe, was mine.
Yeah, it was.
So, like I said, burning both ends of the candle. I'm going to college during the day. Plus, I have a job at the zoo during the day. And then at night, I'm working as an EKG tech at the emergency room. So somewhere in between there, I'm trying to study and, like have a life, whatever. I don't even know what time of evening it was. 10 in the evening, 8 in the evening. I don't even know. I just know it was evening time. The sun was down and I'm exhausted. So I'm sitting, I'm in the shower, but I'm not standing. I'm sitting down because I'm exhausted. Just done. So I'm sitting in the shower and I see JD's hand like go between the shower curtain and the shower wall. And it's like facing me and it starts like coming towards me with the curtain. I'm like, haha, not funny, not in the fucking mood. And it just keeps coming towards me. And I'm like, JD, it's not funny. And it keeps coming towards me. I'm like, JD, seriously, it's like maybe less than a foot, like in 8 inches from my face. I'm like, seriously, I'm fucking done. Like, leave me alone. JD opens the bathroom door and he goes, what'd you say, babe? And I'm like, holy shit, it wasn't fucking JD's arm. But
No,
it moved to the
I was
freaking
sitting-
curtain. It opened the curtain.
I was sitting on the couch watching TV and I hear her I guess it was the last time and loudest time she says, JD, it's not fucking funny. But I didn't hear what she said. I just heard her yell something. So I'm like, swing open the door. I'm like, what, babe? And I see the shower curtain moving, but I don't see any arm or hand or body or anything like that. I see
never
the shower
saw a body.
curtain move.
I saw an arm. I saw the hand. I saw from about, and I even have the goosebumps because it scared the shit out of me even now, like thinking back. I saw from about here down, like up, whatever.
Now, less than a week later, and Kat's already said she's burning both ends
We
of the
both were.
candle.
I mean, you had multiple jobs. I had multiple jobs.
And-
you do what you got to do.
Again, I was taking a break just watching TV, and Kat was taking a nap in the bed. And oh my God, okay. So
Joseph Dane.
So Kat's taking a nap, and the way that
Yeah,
the house
yeah.
is set up, if I'm watching TV and I'm looking directly ahead, and I look kind of to my right, I can see through the bedroom door. I can see most of the bed, and then across the
Wait, time out. Before that, at night, the reason I was napping during the day was because at night our door handle started jiggling. Like our door handle to our bedroom. We had 2 doors to our bedroom.
Did that no, that happened afterwards.
No, that was before. That's why I was napping during the day. I wasn't sleeping at night, remember?
Oh.
So anyway, we had 2 doors to our bedroom. One was to the living room. So if you're sitting on the couch and you're watching TV, you can see into our bedroom. We have another couch in there because our bedroom was massive. But also if you go through the kitchen, it goes to the laundry room and then into our bedroom. So the laundry room connects directly to our bedroom as well, which is awesome because you just throw your clothes in there. It was amazing. But the door handles were jiggling. Like, and then like someone was trying to break in. So I'm like, JD. So he got Charlie, Chuck, whatever he called it, his baseball bat or whatever, and would like go and search the house to get someone who broke in because someone was moving. Like JD was like holding onto the handle and it was moving. So at night, every night this was happening. Like someone was trying to break into our bedroom, but the doors weren't even locked. But someone was jiggling the handle, the doors were moving, not just the laundry room, like as if the washer and dryer were going, both doors. This was happening. And it was random which door it would happen, sometimes both at the same time. So at night, this kept happening. So we weren't sleeping well at night. So it was like, okay, don't have a lot of options for napping. So randomly I got clinicals got canceled one day. So I was napping. So go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, so she was napping out and I just happened to look into the bedroom from the living room. And I've told this story multiple times, and the only way that I've been able to verbalize what I saw was, if you can remember the old tube style TVs before there was digital television, and there was a channel that you didn't have, it would be that static, the black and white snow.
Yeah.
And so imagine a 3-dimensional shadow of a male figure that made of that. And you can see through it, but you can see feature. You can see the nose, you can see the eyes, but there was no color of anything. You couldn't tell clothing, anything. And it's sitting on the couch. It stands up, walks over towards the bed, leans over Cat. And by the time I can wrap my brain around what's going on, poof, it's gone. And I run into the bedroom like, Cat, get the fuck out of here. You got to go.
Yeah.
And so I get her out of there. And again, I clear the house. I'm like,
someone's here.
Rationalizing it. This is a human fucking being. Things just progressively get worse. We'll touch base on that on the individual instances. But there was at one point.
You want to go back and forth? That could be fun. Like I'll tell one thing, you tell another.
Okay. Let me talk about when the landlord had to go over there real quick,
Yeah,
and then we'll go to that. So, being a rented place, we had some issues where you had to call the landlord to come fix them. There was something was wrong with the main of the plumbing.
I was about to say it was plumbing
outside.
issue. That's all I remember.
And I was very cautious about how
the front yard flooded. Yeah, because it backed up or something.
Yeah, I was very cautious about how I worded my questions. And mind you, this is all before any of the paranormal shows, the investigator shit. But I was very cautious about how I worded this question. While he was there repairing something, I asked him, "Hey, do any of your other tenants have any problems?" And that was it. And he goes, "What, about it being haunted?" And I'm like, "You motherfucker." And that's when we found out that there was a double homicide in the house in 1991. And I did all the research.
And did you know that there's a code word for a house being haunted? So we went through a real estate agency to find the house. That's how JD found the house. He went through a real estate agency asking if they had rentals. Apparently, because we were like, we're going to sue y'all. Y'all didn't tell us it was haunted. They said, technically we did. Oh, really? How? We told you it had charisma.
Yeah, a house with charisma.
A house with
means haunted house.
is a term for a house being haunted. So years later, when we bought this house that we currently own, we go, "Oh, does it have charisma?" And she goes, and our real estate agent goes, How did you know about charisma? And we're like, "Oh, this is like a fucking thing." She goes, "It's a thing. It's a thing, but not a lot of people know about it. Like only real estate agents know about it, I guess, and only like hardcore professional real estate agents know about it. If it's like a Joe Blow who's also a firefighter, who's also a real estate agent, no. But like it's like this past secret. If they say charisma, it means the place is haunted.
So yeah, if you're looking at a house that has charisma,
it's haunted.
They're probably finding a haunted house.
And we would probably buy it and live there because we're stupid.
Yeah, I would totally love. So what story about the house do you want to tell?
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell. Ooh, should I start with the bad one or should I start with like one of the other ones?
Just go.
Okay, so I am doing dishes one day. JD is on his way home from work. He's working construction at the time, and I'm doing dishes and looking out the back window of our kitchen, like over our kitchen sink, looking out the back window, and our dog just stopped and just looks at me. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And all of a sudden, the pile of dishes next to me shifts. And I look down and I'm like, okay, I'm clearly going fucking crazy because I'm not sleeping well, obviously. So I'm starting to do dishes and everything. And I hear a whistle coming from the laundry room. So I stop, I turn the water off. Like, what the fuck was that? And I heard the whistle go from my right behind me into the living room. So I turned to look at it, and the pile of dishes that we had sitting there flew across the countertop and smashed against the wall. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I flipped the fuck out. Was like, nope, not staying here. So JD gets home. I'm on the front porch like, you deal with it. I'm not. I'm fucking out. I'm out. Like, it was.
There was another time when you and I were doing dishes together. And this is like a galley style kitchen where it's just like cabinets and countertops on both sides, straight shot down. And so we're doing dishes together.
Yes.
And something ran past us from the living room to the utility room, pushed us both into the
slam the door shut.
Into the countertop, slammed the door shut. And I told Kat, I'm like, stay the fuck here. And I ran around because, as we already established, the other room door goes to the bedroom.
Yeah.
And so I run around and into our bedroom, and I'm like, I'm ready to just beat some ass, beat wholesale ass.
Yep.
And I go to open up the utility room door. And mind, these are just like normal interior doorknobs. There's no locks on them. I can't open the door. So I'm trying to turn it, and it's not budging whatsoever. So I'm getting pissed thinking that somebody's inside, like holding it. So I try to turn it, and then it starts turning the opposite direction that I try to turn it. And I'm still in denial. I still think it's something human. And I'm fighting it. And finally, I'm just like, I want to step back, and I'm just going to wait for this person to come out. And I let go of it, and it's jiggling, and then it stops. And then I'm like, all right. And I go to open it, and I'm like ready to just fucking just start punching, kicking, whatever, biting, pulling hair, speed bag the nuts, whatever I got to do. And I open it up, and there's nobody there. And there's no windows. There's no attic access. There's nothing in this room whatsoever. Washer, dryer, walls. That's it. I'm like, what the fuck? And Kat's manning the other door. This door is still closed.
I have no idea what the fuck is going on. He went to our bedroom. I expect him to come around through the living room behind me, and he never got there. So I'm freaking out. Like, my husband disappeared. There's a fucking ghost in the house. Like, what the hell is happening?
So which story you want to tell next to the house?
So the worst one for me. The top two. Top 12. So, top 3. I don't know. There's a lot. Okay. So I was sick. I had the flu. I was not feeling good. So I was up through the night, throwing up, you name it. So I woke up in the middle of the night, and here's our bedroom, door. On my side of the bed is our dresser that has the mirror on it. So I'm leaning over, and I'm coughing and like trying not to throw up. And I look up, and there's a guy standing on the other side of our bed staring at me. And he's not wearing a shirt.
She sees it in the mirror that's on the back of the dresser.
I see it in the mirror, and I see him standing behind me. And he's got one hand over the other in front of him, and he's glaring at me. And eye contact. He's not wearing a shirt. He looks like he's in his 20s. And he's just staring at me. And I'm staring back, and I'm terrified. And I'm like, and I know I've got to wake JD, but I just know as soon as I do, he's going to fucking murder us. Like, he's just glare. When I say he's glaring, I mean, he is like Like, I'm going to kill you. I've already planned your death out. And I think some guy's broke in our house and he's going to kill us. Like, that was my thought. The way he was looking at me. And I'm like, oh shit, but I have to wake JD. Like, the only chance I have is with him. So I'm like, babe. So I go to grab his arm. I look up. Not only is he not there, JD goes, what? And the door slams shut as if the guy left and slammed the door. And JD goes, what the fuck was that? I was like, there's a guy. He was standing on the other side of the bed. So he's like, what the fuck? So he gets out of bed.
Again, a fruitless attempt at clearing the house with nothing.
And JD literally said, he goes, every door is locked from the inside. Every single door. He's like, no one's here. And I was like, babe, I saw him. He goes, I heard the door slam. I can vouch for that. He's like, but every door is locked from the inside. Because like he said, it took a key, even from the inside, to lock the doors, even the deadbolts. There was no way for someone to exit that fast and lock the doors. There's no way. It couldn't have happened.
So to give a little more background about the house, we briefly talked about how there was a double homicide.
Yes.
I ended up doing the research to the point of getting the 911 transcripts about it. And it was this guy went to go kill his estranged wife. She was living with mom and grandma in this house. She was not there. So he said, fuck it, I'm killing mom and grandma. Well, he
went there to kill her though.
But he didn't just kill them, and he used a shotgun and he tortured them.
Yes.
But like while I'm talking, he blew off their arms with the shotgun and let them bleed out.
He let one call 911.
Yeah. And it was horrific.
Like he's on the recording in the background. He let her call 911.
And he was caught, convicted, and eventually
didn't even care.
Was given lethal injection. His last words were, I don't see what the deal was. I just got rid of a mother-in-law.
He thought it was
fucking hilarious. But that's the guy that was haunting our house, I do believe. And
I was blonde hair, blue eyed, just like his wife. So the only
were you blonde?
I was blonde at the time.
Okay, yeah, I have no clue what your real hair color is. None whatsoever.
Only Miss Claire will know.
So we're running almost an hour and 40 minutes into this.
We're not even done. We have
we're gonna have to do the next time we do a haunted episode, which we're gonna have multiples a year, just because I love this shit.
Oh my god, there's so many stories from that house.
We are gonna have to tell so many more stories.
Well, guess what? Next time I will bring my mother on, because she stayed with us and had an experience there.
Well, we'll have to have your sister, who we sublet the spare room to halfway through the lease.
Talk about the hunting knife that went
So there
missing.
are so many more stories. After you watch this, do me a favor. I want everybody that watches this to type up a little synopsis of any of the stories that they've seen in person. Post them to the page. I love this shit. And if we if we see it, we're gonna feature that story if we like it.
Absolutely.
And one way or another, we're gonna feature those stories. But when you are out on Halloween, we know it's coming this weekend. Please be safe. Stay away from the slutty girls and the slutty costumes.
Look, she may look like a nurse.
They have no good intentions.
Listen, she may look like a nurse, but she's got diseases. Trust me. Don't do it.
Yeah. But
it's about right.
There's going to be all kinds of Halloween parties going on this weekend. Please, if you get too drunk to drive, stay where you're at. Find an Uber, a Lyft, a sober ride home. We want to keep you coming so that we can still keep getting sponsors.
Oh, we're going to
So this is all selfish.
We're going to keep you coming. Nah.
Man, this had the least amount of dick and fart jokes ever.
I'm so disappointed in us.
I know. We let you down by having a serious conversation.
Ghosts should not prevent pornographic talk.
But don't forget that you can find all the past episodes on any of your favorite podcasting hosting places, Apple iTunes, Podcaster, Google Podcast, blah, 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 the rest of them. What do you got? You're staring at me like you have
I don't know. Back next week, same haunted time, same haunted place.
Same beard time, same beard channel. But thank you all for watching. We love y'all, and y'all have a great night. We'll talk to you.
We love you.
Bye.